Hi, it's Ken here again from Apprentice Recruit and Select People, and just bringing you a short series of videos on how to get that job. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about where to get a job. So not so much how, although that does become part of the process, but where. And so many people rely on job boards. So things like Seek and Indeed and Gumtree and Career One, and there's a whole range of different job boards that are out there. And that's where they invest all their time and energy when it comes to trying to find some work. Now, I did some research a few years ago about the success rate of people that actually get a job through a job board. And back then, and I'm talking a few years ago now, it was around about 7%. So the statistics are very, very low. So even in my own circumstances, I have never got a job from an ad on a job board. Now that sounds a little ironic coming from somebody that advertises on job boards, and that's how we source the majority of our talent. But we also use word of mouth and social media and a range of other ways of also finding talent these days as well, as do a lot of other companies. So if you're putting all your eggs in one basket where you're purely relying on job boards to try and find work through job boards, you need to look at your strategy and have a look at what other options are out there to you. So one of the biggest ones these days, and we didn't have this 10 years ago, is social media. It's a huge tool that you can be using to have a lot more eyes and ears out there looking for work for you. So whether you've got 10 people as friends on Facebook, or if you've got 1,000 people, well, if you put a post out there that you're looking for work in a particular area or a particular industry, a particular occupation, then you'll have anywhere from another 10 sets of eyes to 1,000 sets of eyes that are out there looking on your behalf as well. And I've seen it time and time again with friends and with family over the years where that's been a recommendation that we've given them, and before you know it, and we can see it too because we can see a lot of the transactions that are happening online, that's how a lot of people will actually get work these days. So don't underestimate the power of Facebook. And if you are using Facebook as a tool to both find work, but also unbeknownst to you, even if you're looking for work through job boards or agencies and so on, make sure you've got a clean Facebook profile. As a recruiter, we stalk social media. And while we've got you on the phone and we're going through our interview questions with you, guess what? We're checking out your Facebook profile. So if you've got inappropriate pictures, language, anything on there that shows a bit about your character that might be a little bit unsavoury, get rid of it, okay? Because those little things that we do find on there can make the decision as to whether we either give you a phone call or continue the phone call with you about that particular job. So anyway, Facebook can be a fantastic tool, but Facebook can also make or break whether you're going to get that interview or that job. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So the number one way that most people will get their next job is networking. Very, very simple concept, been around for since Adam was a boy, and it's more about word of mouth. It's talking to your friends, talking to your family, and it also comes down to door knocking. And I know that a lot of people don't feel comfortable with that concept, but even as a recruiter, like door knockers from our perspective are the number one reason why we lose a job. And that's because there's been somebody that's been proactive. They've actually walked into the company, whether it be their restaurant, whether it be a work site, whether it be their office, and they've simply asked for a job. And the ones that get a job that way are the ones that are persistent in that process. So I'll often say to people that if I hear from somebody once when they apply for a job and I don't hear from them again, well, there's a good chance they're not going to hear from me either. If I've got somebody who contacts me a second time, it increases their chances exponentially. If I've got somebody where they've contacted me 3 or more times, the chances of us actually finding work for them are extremely high. Because normally by the third phone call, or the third contact we've had from them, we'll know who they are, where they are, what they're looking for. And when we get a job in, they're going to be top of mind when it comes to talking to our clients. So that repeating that contact is something that will make you stand out. And again, most people won't do it. They simply won't do it. They'll make one contact and we'll never hear from them again. Sometimes from our point of view, it's a test. We'll say to them, call us back again on Friday at 2 o'clock and we can let you know if we've had any contact back or any progress with your application. And again, the majority of people will not make that contact. So at the end of the day, you're out there selling yourself. And if you can't sell yourself, no one else is going to do it for you. I've had people say to me over the years as an agent, they're like, well, how come you haven't found me a job? To be perfectly honest, that's not my responsibility. That's your responsibility. We've got, I suppose, limited resources with the jobs that we get through, whereas you've got unlimited resources as far as companies that you can be contacting yourself. So don't rely on an agency to do it for you. Get off your butt and actually get out there and hit the pavement and start talking to these companies. I often use the Colonel Sanders theory, and for those that don't know, with KFC, he knocked on over 1,000 doors before somebody took his recipe. 1,000 no's that he got because people thought that he was crazy with his recipe for his chicken. So you can just imagine if he gave up after the second or third door that he'd knocked on, yep, no KFC. So again, keep that in the back of your mind that it's not easy out there. It's not easy to be knocking on doors and getting no's constantly. As recruiters, we're constantly talking to companies. We're constantly putting people forward. We get knockbacks every day. And we've just got to get back up again and we've got to continue on. You're no different. If you're out there applying for work and you're out there on the pavement, you are literally knocking on doors, you're going to get a lot of no's. But ultimately, you get somebody who will say yes. Because if you're sitting at home in your lounge room and you're waiting for that dream job to walk through your front door, guess what? It ain't going to happen. So anyway, that's my number one tip as far as trying to get out there and market yourself and try and get that next job. There's plenty of work out there. You just got to be persistent, knock on plenty of doors, use your network, use social media, and you'll get yourself some work that way. Anyway, again, I hope you got some value out of this. If you did, please share it, tag some friends or family into it, and we'll see you in our next video. So again, this is Kent from Apprentice Recruit and Select People.